Wow, it has been a while since I've narrated one of these, but what is going on, everybody? It is me, WeedleTwineedle. WeedleTwin only showdown content. What are you doing narrating a video? Some of you subscribers are hearing my voice for the first time and are probably like,
oh, gay ass nigga, shut up, shut up, shut up. Oh, I ain't listening to you.
but we are here, we are queer, just like my toxic friend Toxapex. So today we're playing doubles, not like VGC doubles, we're playing like doubles OU 6v6. That's like the closest like category of this format we're playing today, testing out some memes. But before we get into today's video, of course, we are sponsored today.
Money!
Now it's starting to make sense of why I'm narrating a video, huh? And of course, sponsoring the channel helps me out tremendously, especially in today's day and age. So who are we sponsored by today?
You'll never see it come.
After a long day of gaming, you need rest.
Introducing Actually!
The only LED-powered bed sheets made for gamers. Now with motion alarm, know when you're awake. Available now at extremerest.com.
That was a prank. It was all a prank. Today's actual sponsor has been taking YouTube and mobile gaming by storm. Raid Shadow Legends.
Again.
That's right, these wonderful folk have once again sponsored my channel. Now what is Raid? Raid is a turn-based strategy game done right. You can enjoy a fully voice-acted campaign while you level up and build your own party. There's so much to do in Raid, such as clan battles where you can team up with friends. There's battle arenas if you're feeling up for some PvP action, dungeons where you can battle against different bosses and grind some useful loot, and of course, a summoning system. Here at the portal, you can summon new champions to expand your party. Let's see what I can get today with these here blue shards. Oh, we got a goat! We got Greybeard. This guy looks sick. He has aura, increased allied defense in dungeons by 30%. Now that seems very useful. Ooh, we got like a zombie archer. We got Ghoulish Ranger. And let's see what he has. Attacks 3 times at random, has a 30% chance of placing an HP burn debuff for 2 turns. That seems pretty useful for DPS. Now, I love the summoning system because even if we get bad summons, they still have their uses. At the tavern, you can exchange champions you don't want to power up your actual good champions. This not only makes grinding faster, but also means no summons go to waste. Such a nice system. Every day, I'm sure to grab my daily login rewards so I can summon new champions. The daily login rewards for new players has been doubled from 90 to 180 days. Each day, you can claim your free rewards from energy refills to silver, to gems, to shards, and even a free legendary champion, Sill of the Drake. Oh, and I forgot to mention, this game is free to play. That's right, so much content provided to you for free. So what are you waiting for? Go to the video description, click on these special links, and if you are a new player, you will receive 200,000 silver plus 1 free champion, Grinner. Be sure to check your inbox at the corner of your screen to receive your rewards. And that's pretty much it, so thank you Raid so much for promoting this video, and good luck guys, I'll see you there. Anyway, back to the video. Today we're utilizing a team that a few of you guys suggested for me to use, where you use a Plasma Fist Zeraora to make Toxtricity's boomburst into stab and a super strong nuke and doubles. You know, you could do this with Ion Deluge as well, but you know, Game Freak was like,
No.
so we have to use Zeraora for this team. This video is going to be post-commentated as opposed to live commentary like my other Sword and Shield Alpha Battle videos, because a lot of people were complaining like, man, Weedle, these Sword and Shield battles suck! Did I lie? And I'm thinking it's because my live commentary is really bad
Voice crack.
in comparison to post-commentary, which you guys are used to, so we're going to try post-commentary for a change. Now, looking at my team, I'm utilizing Pincurchin because the electric terrain is very important to make Toxtricity hit as hard as possible, and Zeraora. We have Strifflin, which is the electric seed, and then we have the Zeraora, which is the bread and butter of this team, with Toxtricity, and then we have Inteleon and Pelipper for a rain mode as well. Also because water types are important when it comes to, you know, dealing with ground types on a mostly electric type team. Now, looking at my opponent's team, my opponent has a very scary team for us to deal with. My opponent has a Gastrodon, which versus a mono electric and water kind of gives me some difficulty. My opponent also has Colossal and Dragapult, which is meant to be a big combination. My opponent has Primarina, Conkeldurr, and Melmetal, which is pretty cool to see in a double setting. So that's my opponent's team, and without further ado, let's get right into this battle against Beans. Alright, so we are challenged by Beans, who has 421 instead of 420 for their trainer card number. That is so innovative and creative. So my opponent's going to lead off with the Dragapult and the Colossal. Speaking of innovative and creative, the never before seen combination, Colossal Dragapult, as I'm going to be leading off with Zeraora and my Testicles. Now turn 1, I'm at a pretty big disadvantage because my opponent could just go for the Colossal combination and kind of, you know, murder me if I don't play super perfectly. So turn 1, I'm going to do something I don't usually do. Turn 1 with this team, even though you guys wouldn't know better because this is my first battle using this team in this video. We're going to bring in Pelipper here, set up the Rain. Now the reason behind that is because Dragapult likes to use water moves to proc Colossal Steam Engine, and the idea here is to make it start raining, so Colossal takes way more damage from Dragapult's water move than originally intended. So my opponent's gonna D-max, or rather G-max his Colossal, and become the massive volcano coal furnace thingamabob. And my opponent is going to go for the Surf here with the Dragapult, so the Rain's actually going to make Dragapult deal more damage to the Colossal. He's going to get the Steam Engine and get +6 speed. He's going to activate his weakness policy with the Colossal. And my opponent here is going to target my Pelipper right here with a G-Max Volcalith, which I'm very grateful for because if he targeted into Pincurchin, we'd be in a pretty bad situation, but thankfully my opponent viewed Zeraora as a bigger threat. Would you know he probably shouldn't, because Pincurchin, people sleep on my Testicles. What? Testicles is going to freaking liquidation right into Furnace, and Furnace is going to get destroyed by my Testicles. So down goes the D-Max turn 1. My opponent wastes their D-Max turn 1, which is a very good position to be in for me. Now here, I'm going to take some damage from the G-Max Volcalith because that G-Max move is so good. Like, I was sleeping on that move before this game, but I didn't realize how much damage it actually does throughout the duration of the game. So here my opponent's going to bring Gastrodon, which is why I brought out my Inteleon. I'm going to pull a Hard Switch into my Sit Pop right here for my Pincurchin, and my opponent's going to go for the Surf right here, and now the Rain's going to kind of bite me in the butt because now the Dragapult has stronger Surfs. And now Gastrodon's going to get Storm Drain boosts and have stronger water type attacks as well. So the Rain kind of bites me in the butt right here, but it was necessary to deal with the Colossal turn 1. Here we're going to go for the Fling into my Sit Pop, and we're going to get burned with the Flame Orb because we're actually Flare Boost Drifblim, not even unburdened, and we're going to activate our weakness policy. The unburdened Drifblim is all a bait, which is the only reason why Drifblim's even on this team. So I thought that was a really funny bait to have. Flare Boost, Weakness Policy Drifblim on a team with Electric Terrain. People would always assume it's Electric Seed, but no. We're running some really bad Drifblim set because this is the WeedleTwineedle channel. We never use viable stuff. So we're taking a lot of damage right here from the Volcalith and Burn as I'm able to bring in my Zeraora. And now we're going to go for the Fake Out straight into, oh nope, never mind, I forgot, I'm clicking the win button, clicking the D-Max button, because unlike my opponents, I D-Max with Morals. I use D-Max on Drifblim. Like, what are you using D-Max on? Excadrill? Like, no, I'm using it on my Drifblim right here. So Drifblim's going to get a bunch of health thanks to the D-Max, and hopefully we're able to live this next turn of attack, which is why I even D-Max in the first place. We're going to go for Fake Out into Gastrodon because this is a big threat right now. And the Dragapult's getting really annoying with these Surfs, not going to lie, because, I mean, they're Rain boosted, even though it's unstabbed, and I don't even think he has special attack investment. These Surfs are getting on my nerves. So instead of targeting Gastrodon, which 6-0s me, I decided to target down the Dragapult because I hate Dragapult. Dragapult's the new fuckboy Komodo of this generation because everybody uses Dragapult. It's so busted, I just hate Dragapult. It's like my least favorite pseudo legendary, I think. Like, people love it. I hate it just because it's just like it ruins all of my memes. That's why I hate it. I think its design's good, but I just hate facing it a lot. So if you want free wins against me, use Dragapult. That's the lesson that should be taken from this video. So here, we're taking a lot of damage from the Volcalith and the Burn. And so in comes Conkeldurr right here. And now I'm actually going to switch out my Zeraora because I thought Mach Punch would knock me out from that range of health. So I decided to sack off my Testicles right here as my opponent does go for the Mach Punch into my Testicles. That hurt a lot. Getting punched in the Testicles does not feel very good. And now Max Phantasm is going to obliterate this Gastrodon. Thankfully, it did not live because Gastrodon 6-0s this team and Drifblim is the only way I can even KO the Gastrodon. So thankfully, the Max Phantasm knocks out the Gastrodon, as now we're going to take some more Volcalith damage, and Testicle is going to get knocked out by the Volcaliths. The Volcaliths getting so many KOs. It's kind of crazy how strong it is, but thankfully we're able to live the burn with 2 HP, and now Conkeldurr reveals to be Flame Orb as well. And my opponent's going to bring in the Melmetal right here, so I'm curious to see what Melmetal does on my opponent's team. I'm going to bring in Zeraora right here and just go for the Fake Out, I believe, into the Conkeldurr, because Conkeldurr with Flame Orb is very, very terrifying, as Fake Out does do a good chunk of damage thanks to the Max Phantasm defense drop. And now I'm going to go for another Max Phantasm into Melmetal, one-shot it. I don't know if it was Assault Vest or what, but it doesn't even matter. Max Phantasm at +2 special attack with Flare Boost is extremely powerful. Don't sleep on Drifloon. Drifloon is underrated. Now the rain's going to go away, and now I'm going to die from Flame Orb. So my opponent wasn't able to land the finishing blow on Drifloon. Drifloon took itself out with its own burn, so that is disrespectful. And now the Conkeldurr is going to get hurt by burn, and now the electric terrain is going to go away. So now I was thinking it's time to bring in the Toxtricity, because now all my opponent has left is Primrose, the Primarina, which is an Octopath reference. Shout out to my opponent for that reference right there. I respect that. And we're actually able to live Mach Punch at 9 HP. I was so sure that Mach Punch was going to kill me, but I guess a little bit of bulk on Zeraora I do run. You know, came in clutch right there, and Plastifist is able to knock out the Conkeldurr at -2 defense, and now I can go for the Ion Deluged Boomburst, which will heal my Zeraora thanks to Volt Absorb, and now Boomburst is electric type, so it's Stab, Punk Rock boosted, and the Primarina is going to get obliterated. So I'm sorry, Primrose. Down goes Primrose, and we're able to defeat my first opponent thanks to mainly Flare Boost Drifloon, but hey, we got a nice showcasing of Plasma Fist and Boomburst at the end right there. So that was the end of the first battle, and let's get into the second battle. Alrighty, my second opponent today, Ellie, has a very scary team for us to deal with. My opponent has Mudsdale, which paired with Grimmsnarl is very, very scary for us to deal with. My opponent has Togekiss, which is always a pain to deal with. Even though we have triple electric types, Togekiss is still a cunt. My opponent also has Scrotum, Wash, Ferrothorn, and Ferrothorn's a pretty big issue for mono electric / water teams. And then my opponent has my true weakness, Incineroar, my husband, and it's also gendered correctly. It's not the cursed female Incineroar. Gross! It's the lovely male Incineroar. So that is the true weakness of this team right here. Not Mudsdale and Ferrothorn, but Incineroar. And my team, of course, is exactly the same because it's literally exactly the same. So without further ado, let's get into this battle against Ellie. Okay, so we're up against Ellie, who has the 420 trainer card.
Wow, incredible!
I'm 666, so I can't say anything, but it's because Sword and Shield took my soul away. But then Incineroar came on the field, and I'm like, oh, maybe I like Sword and Shield.
We gotta show you Rotom! Let's go!
Is I'm going to be leading off with my Zeraora and my Testicles. So keep in mind, Testicles got matched up versus Scrotum. So this is like the ultimate matchup of all time. Like, what are the odds of getting matched up versus a Rotom Wash called Scrotum? Well, okay, birds. Interrupt my narration again. See what happens. So we're going to set up the electric terrain with my Testicles. And if you think about it, this entire like board is a mirror match because we have Furry versus Furry. You know, obviously Incineroar is the much better Furry, but Zeraora is also a Furry. And then we have Scrotum or Testicles versus Scrotum. So it's like literally a mirror match right here. So my opponent's gonna go for a nasty plot with their Scrotum, so I'm gonna go for a charge with my Testicles because I need a charge with my Testicles because I just feel like it. And now we're gonna go for Plasma Fist into the husband into Incineroar, where it does like 0. It is zippity 0 because I'm at -1 and Incineroar is dead and stuff. But here, Scrotum Wash is going to go for Hydro Pump into my Testicles.
6 hot loads.
But because of the charge, we're able to live at 19 health. And here, Incineroar is going to Parting Shot into my Zeraora because literally the Furries are fighting each other and the Genitalia is fighting each other. It's just like 1v1s right now if you think about it, because we're not even like attacking each other, which is hilarious. But here, my opponent's going to bring in the Barbara here, the Ferrothorn is here. I'm clicking. My Testicles are going to go boom. So now I'm actually the best female PokeTuber because my Testicles are gone. And Self-Destruct is going to annihilate the Scrotum. So my Testicles are going to 1v1 the Scrotum Wash. and we're going to do a huge chunk to the Ferrothorn. We did over half to the Ferrothorn. Preferably, I would have loved to self-destruct on my husband Incineroar to just blow up on him, but unfortunately, we can't have nice things, and I can't blow up on my husband. So sad. Now, in comes the Mudweiser here, the Mudstails. I'm going to bring out my Suigetsu. I brought in Suigetsu because Suigetsu does have Soak, so I could soak the Ferrothorn and then go for Plasma Fist, but then I realized my Zeraora is not -2, so I decided to bring in my Drifloon here, and my opponent's actually going to decide to go for the D-Max here with their Mudstail, so I was like, oh crap, I choked so hard by switching into Drifloon because he's going to go for like Max Steel Spike or like Max Rock Ball to break my balloon. Like, this was really bad. Why would I do that? I'm so garbage. I thought my opponent would go for Protect instead of going for the Dynamax. I'm so bad. But yeah, we're going to go for the Fling right here into my Drifblim because you already know from the last game, we are running that Flare Boost Weakness Policy Drifblim because I needed to make Self-Proc Dynamax Weakness Policy actually original because it's literally the entire VGC metagame now. But yes, we're able to activate our Weakness Policy and our Flare Boost as my opponent's gonna go for Max Quake into my Zeraora slot. And I made it look like I made a godly read, but I had the Air Balloon active on my Zeraora. So him going for Max Quake there, if I just stayed in with my Zeraora, it would have, you know, been fine because I had Air Balloons. My opponent kind of misplayed there, but you wanna know what? We take those as Power Whip's going to knock out my Inteleon, which kind of stinks because I needed it to actually deal damage to the Mudstail, but it's okay because now I'm able to bring in my Pelippi, my Pelipper, so I can set up the Rain and hope to do some decent damage to this Mudstail. So I'm just gonna go for the Hydro Pump right here. Oh, first I Dynamax. I forgot. I clicked the win button here with a Shaniqua and her trans rights closed, because Shaniqua's wearing that pink and blue, because we love trans people on the WeedleTwineedle channel. And we're going to Dynamax with my Drifblim.
Join.
The Hydro Pump into the Mudstail, do a butt ton of damage. And now we're going to go for Max Phantasm at +2 special attack with Flare Boost. That'll knock out the Mudweiser, the Mudstail, and I'm pretty sure that was Assault Vested as well. I might be wrong in that assumption. The Hydro Pump did do a little bit too much damage to be Assault Vest. We're able to knock out my opponent's Dynamax, which is really good for us, because basically if you have the Dynamax and they don't, you automatically win the game. Gyro Ball is not going to do much damage because Dynamax is fair and balanced. We have 450 health at level 50 because Dynamax, we love Dynamax on the WeedleTwineedle channel. And Drifblim's sitting pretty nice right now as my opponent's going to bring out the Goblin, the Grimmsnarl, my other husband. My opponent just has all my husbands on their team. It's like my true weakness is the Incineroar. If they save their Dynamax for Incineroar, it was just pretty much GG for my underpants. But now we're clicking Max Guard with my Drifblim because I was afraid of Sucker Punch, but then I realized like I'm the only person who actually uses offensive Grimmsnarl. Like, what was I thinking? But yeah, my opponent's going to go for Gyro Ball into my Drifblim as we're able to guard ourselves with the Max Guard. And I'm able to bring in my Zeraora to put on some fake out pressure so I can fake out the Grimmsnarl. I was afraid of Sucker Punch, but then I realized, like, obviously it's not going to have Sucker Punch because who has Sucker Punch on Grimmsnarl? Nobody. In doubles anyway. In singles it's probably used more, but in doubles it's never used. So we're going to fake out, do some decent damage. Just now we're going to go for Max Phantasm into the Ferrothorn. Even with Light Screen up, it's still able to knock it out because Flare Boost Weakness Policy Drifblim with Max Phantasm is so strong. Like, don't sleep. Weakness Policy Flare Boost Drifblim is the future. I'm telling you, it's the future. It's probably not very viable on this team. Probably better off like building a team around it outside of like throwing it on like a random meme team. But here we are using it on a meme team because WeedleTwineedle has lost control of her life. Now in comes my husband yet again. And my husband's probably going to go for Fake Out into my Zeraora, but it's not too big of a deal because, like, Zeraora doesn't really need to move this turn. So my opponent actually doesn't even go for Fake Out, surprisingly. My opponent goes for Reflect with the Grimmsnarl, as here I'm going to go for Plasma Fists into the Grimmsnarl, I do believe. Or do I target Incineroar? I forgot. Yeah, I target the Grimmsnarl as it does do absolutely nothing because of Reflect and Intimidate. And here we're going to go for Strength Sap into my Daddy. I love sipping on Incineroar's strength. And we're going to get all of our health back with my Sit Pop. And my opponent right here is going to go for the Darkest Lariat. And he's going to go for a Darkest Lariat in our Drifblim as we're able to face tank it thanks to the Strength Sap. As now we're going to get hurt by a burn, which kind of sucks, but it's not too big of a deal because now we can go for Plasma Fists into the Incineroar, and the combined deeps with, you know, Plasma Fist, which is absolutely nothing, and Flare Boost plus a special attack Thunderbolt should be able to knock out the Incineroar. The Incineroar is so bulky, it's able to live and eat its berries. I'm like, oh my gosh, Incineroar, you're too much for me, man. You're way too much for me. As Darkest Lariat is going to knock out my Drifblim. So I should have Strength Sapped again, but like, I really thought the combined damage would knock out the Incineroar, but Incineroar is just so hot, I mean so bulky, it's just able to live. And then I told you guys, Zeraora really is my true weakness. It really is my true weakness. So he's gonna finally pop my balloon literally like 10 turns later. 10 turns after I reveal it, and now I'm able to bring in my Roxy. It's about time to bring up my Toxtricity and go for the combination I literally designed a team around. So we're gonna go for Plasma Fist into the Grimmsnarl, and it's gonna do some good damage. And now I'm gonna go for the Boomburst, and because of the Plasma Fist, it turns into an electric type attack, which means it heals the Zeraora. And now Boomburst with Punk Rock and Stab, that should knock out the Incineroar, but Incineroar lives that, and I'm like, whoa, Incineroar, you need to calm down, like, holy crap. But now we're going to activate our Throat Spray. It's now Darkest Lariat's probably going to knock me out, but then I realized I Strength Sapped him, so I'll be fine. So Strength Sap is going to allow me to eat up that Darkest Lariat. It's now my opponent's going to bring out the Serenity, the Togekiss. Imagine if Incineroar had Throat Chop there. Wait a minute, I would have lost. Well, maybe not, but like, I would have been in a bad spot. But here we're going to go for Plasma Fist into the Incineroar. Finally knock out my husband. It took me like the entire game to knock out Incineroar, and I'm like, yes. Now I can go for the Stab, Electric type boosted, you know, Boomburst, as my opponent's gonna go for Heat Wave. I forgot he outspeeds me, because I'm actually not max speed. I'm modest, I'm not 10 max speed. Even then, Togekiss outspeeds me if it's running 10 max speed, which most of them don't. But either way, we're gonna go for the Boomburst right here, and +1 special attack Stab Boomburst should be able to knock out Togekiss, but it lives, and I'm like, what? But it's because of Light Screen, which is why it lives, and I'm like, it's okay, we'll be able to knock out Togekiss this turn. But then my opponent's like, no, you don't get the satisfaction of killing Togekiss, and he forfeits, and I'm like, wow, you're a coward, I hate you. I don't hate you, but like, wow, I really wanted to kill a Togekiss. So that's the end of the battle against Ellie, and let's move on to the next battle. Alright, my next opponent, Blake, has a very commonly used team. Hatterene and DD's like a very common core that people used to use at the beginning of VGC 2020. My opponent also has Venusaur Torkoal, another combination. Then they have Dusclops Trick Room, and then they have Dragapult because Dragapult's broken. And then my team's exactly the same as the last time. So let's just get into this battle against Blake, who oddly enough has 963, which adds up to 18 if you add 9 plus 6 plus 3, and then my trainer card adds up to 18 as well, so it's a very odd coincidence actually. My opponent's going to be leading off with Hatterene and Indeedee, as I'm going to be leading off with my Zeraora and Testicles. I guess you guys can see I lead off with this combination like every game, but it's because I want the electric terrain up as soon as possible because my team literally relies on doing damage with electric type attack, so electric terrain is pretty useful to have. So we're able to set up the electric surge with my Testicles, and turn 1, I'm assuming my opponent is going to want to go for Follow Me and Trick Room, because that's usually what Indeedee Hatterene stuff goes for. So my opponent's going to go for Follow Me with the Indeedee. And instead of going for Fake Out, I do decide to go for Plasma Fist, because even if I do Fake Out the Hatterene or the Indeedee, I'm just like, it's not really going to get me very far. So I'm just going to go for Plasma Fist into the Indeedee, do some decent damage, and here I'm clicking Self-Destruct, and Electric Terrain, Stab boosted, Life Orb Self-Destruct is going to easily annihilate both Hatterene and Indeedee. So down goes my Testicles, but at what cost? We took out the Trick Room duo. We got a useless crit on Indeedee because there's no way that mattered since Plasma Fist is half health, and Self-Destruct is way more powerful than Plasma Fist. So down goes both my opponent's Pokemon, as here my opponent's going to bring out the Venusaur, and I'm going to bring out my Toxtricity, my Roxy, and my opponent's going to bring out the Torkoal. So here I'm like, oh crap, Venusaur's going to Dynamax and go for Max Quick into my Toxtricity. I should probably switch out into my Pelipper and just try to like get around this, but instead I decided to stay in here. So my opponent tries to go for Sleep Powder and Electric Terrain, and I'm like, what are you doing, girl? Are you okay? So I go for Plasma Fist into into Venusaur, do some decent damage, and now I can go for the Ion Deluged Boomburst, which is Stab. And it's an electric terrain, so this Boomburst is just going to annihilate the Torkoal. And Venusaur is able to live at a sliver of health. If I was Life Orb, I would have knocked it out, so I'm debating on running Life Orb on the Zeraora because the immediate power seems pretty nice, but we're able to get the Throat Spray, which means we're going to be doing a lot of damage the next turn, and then my opponent's like, yeah, no, and then they Rage Quit, so I don't know what, after going for Sleep Powder and Electric Terrain, I can understand that Rage Quit, so hopefully you guys enjoy that juicy Rage Quit, and let's move on to the last battle of this video. Okay, my final opponent today has a very cool team, actually. They have Blastoise, Espeon, pretty unique picks in the doubles metagame, and then they have T-Tar, Excadrill, and Dragapult, which kind of ruins any level of innovation their team may have. And I'm using the same team like I have been using the past 3 battles, so let's get into this final battle against Ultima, who has 720 for the trainer card as opposed to 420, so my opponent is a level up, 3 levels up from the 420 players, so I'm very scared. My opponent's going to lead off with Clefable and the Blastoise, so I'm going to be leading off with my Zeraora and my Suigetsu. So we lead off with Inteleon as opposed to Testicles for a change. And why I did that was because I was expecting T-Tar Excadrill lead, but instead my opponent decides to mix it up and lead off with Clefable and Blastoise, even though I have triple electric types. So that's pretty interesting. So here we're going to bring in my Testicles here, accept the Electric Terrain, and go for Fake Out into the Blastoise, do some good damage, and I want to stop any sort of attempt at Shell Smashing, because I assume my opponent's going to go for Redirection plus Setup Spam, which is... I assume my assumption is correct because they click Follow Me turn 1. So here my opponent's going to click Follow Me again, and I'm like, okay, how many times do I have to teach you this lesson, old man? Because we taught the Indeedee Hatterene person a lesson, so now we gotta teach this Clefable person a lesson. So Blastoise is gonna do big damage to the Clefable. My opponent's like, haha, I lived, so I can go for Shell Smash with my Blastoise, go for my setup, and I can just sweep your ass with my Blastoise. Kanto rules! And then my Pincurchin's like,
sorry, but no.
And I just go for Self-Destruct. And Self-Destruct, Stab, Electric Terrain, Boosted Life Orb. You already know the drill. Everything is dying besides my Zeraora. So Self-Destruct's going to eviscerate the Blastoise and the Clefable. My opponent could have brought out the Excadrill for sure, but my opponent got very greedy and decided to get annihilated by Pincurchin, which is a very good feeling because Pincurchin is pretty slept on and people think it's trash, but I'm showing you guys Pincurchin isn't trash. So here, my opponent's going to bring in T-Tar, and they're going to bring in Excadrill, so he's like, fun times over, fam, sand time now. So I decided to bring in my Suigetsu here, and I'm like, well, I don't know what, I can have some fun too. You like your brainless weather? Well, guess what? I like my brainless weather too, so I'm going to switch out my Zeraora and bring out my Pelifeet to set up the rain. This is like the only reason why Pelifeet's on the team, is so it eases my matchup versus T-Tar Excadrill and Torkoal Venusaur, because the rain allows me to deal with the weather control, go for Snipe Shot with Suigetsu, shoot the water from my finger, which is why it's named Suigetsu, one-shot the T-Tar in the rain, and that's going to knock out the Tyranitar. And then my opponent does the same thing the Mudsdale person does and goes for high horsepower into an air balloon Pokemon, but we're able to pivot into Pelipper regardless and be immune to the high horsepower. And we kind of just outplayed my opponent super hard there, to the point where my opponent's like, bye-bye, and then they Rage Quit. So, girl, bye! Hopefully you guys enjoyed those little Rage Quits at the end. I figured I'd slip them in because I wanted to post them at some point. I wanted to post these, but I was like, it's not really worth a separate video. So hopefully you guys enjoyed those little bit of Rage Quits at the end, and you just enjoyed this video in general. It's been a long time since I've posted a Sword and Shield battle video, or Wi-Fi battle video. I do apologize for that. If you enjoyed this battle video and want to support my channel and want to see more of this content on my channel, be sure to leave a like on the video and leave comments saying you want to see more. It's the best way to show that you guys don't want to see exclusively show on content from me. So yeah, if you want to see more Sword and Shield content, be sure to hit that like button, because more likes equals more motivation. And yeah, so this is the fun version of the team, aka the team I used in this video. Some things to note: Toxtricity is the G-Max Toxtricity, so you can G-Max it and go for the Max Stun Shock, which is very nice to have. Otherwise, the team is pretty simple. One other thing I'd like to mention is that Inteleon actually is 1 point faster than Zeraora, because Zeraora's adamant nature, so I can soak stuff so Zeraora can hit him hard with Plasma Fists. Pelipper is Sash because I need some speed control. It's like a desperate measure for speed control. Pincurchin's obviously, like, you saw the entire set. Everything else is self-explanatory. Drifloon probably doesn't need Tailwind. I probably should run Protect over it, but I don't know what. This is the fun version of the team, so if you want to use this version of the team that I used in this video, feel free. And here is the more viable version of the team if you want to use it. If you want to actually have a chance of winning, this is probably the version of the team I would use. I got rid of the Flare Boost Fling and Talion strategy for just Unburden Electricity Driftblim. You get much more reliable tailwinds this way, and speed control with Thunder Wave. A Hack/Clear Smog is good because Hacks works well with Toxtricity's max stun shock. It does double damage, and it also works off of Driftblim's Thunder Wave. Ludicolo is very good with Pelipper, obviously, because you get an extra rain mode, and Braid Dead Rain is very nice for carrying this bad gimmick. It also means you don't auto-lose the Gastrodon, so having Ludicolo does patch up some pretty big holes on this team. Sure, this is the team that I would use if you want to like have a chance of winning because the speed control is very, very nice. Those are the link codes for those teams. You know, have fun using them if you'd like. But yeah, that'll do it for me, guys. Thank you so much for watching till the end of the video. I do apologize for the raid promotion, but look, I'm gonna be real with you guys. I lost my job 3 weeks ago. I still haven't gotten unemployment. I still haven't gotten my fucking stimulus check. So yeah, bitch is struggling hard. And raid is my saving grace, okay? And y'all can complain all you want about me being a sellout, blah, 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 blah. But at the end of the day, I make all this content for free because most of my videos are demonetized. And look, if Raid wants to pay me just to talk about their game for 2 minutes, I'm gonna get on that, okay? I'm gonna get my bag. And if you're salty about that, then I'm sorry. But anyways, hate to end the video on that note. Thank you so much for watching. And I'll check you guys in my next video. Bye.